Hello, third graders. It's Mrs. Kahre here. I'm going to be working on your reading packet with you today. I'm going to review your whole week's worth of work, and I'm going to help you think about how you're going to attack each lesson for each day that you complete it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I've uploaded each page. So on Monday, which is today, you guys are going to work on Zell the Gentle Donkey. You are going to be reading the whole text, and what I want you to do for each page, there's 3 pages, you are going to annotate it. What that means is you are going to underline important details, and you are going to write notes along the side. So let me show you what that means. I'm going to read the first paragraph. Long ago, there was a gentle donkey named Zell. Everyone in town loved Zell because she was pleasant and kind. So that sentence tells me about the character, and I think that's important. Okay, I know what Zell is like now after reading that sentence, and it stands out to me. Everyone in town loved Zell because she was pleasant and kind. I'm only underlining details. I'm not underlining the whole sentence because this is what jumps out to me. Next sentence. But Zell's owner, Madame Charity, was angry and mean. All right, let me get another color because that's a different kind of character and has different characteristics. Zell's owner, who it is, Madame Charity, was angry and mean. She was so mean that she threw rocks at birds for singing too loud. She yelled at little boys when they laughed. But she was the meanest of all to poor Zell. So I've underlined the things that stuck out to me in the paragraph. Now I'm going to write notes along the side. This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to write Zell loved, because those 2 words summarize what Zell was like. Everybody loved her. Then the other character, Madame Charity, I'm going to put MC. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put angry and mean because those were the 2 words that the author used to describe her. She felt angry and she was mean. So then you're going to do the same exact thing for paragraph 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 all the way down to 21. I want you guys to underline the important things because what it does is it downloads the important information in your brain, and that way you comprehend and you understand the story. All right, next you're going to use that information after you have it in your brain. So you're going to do some multiple choice questions, and I want you to use your strategies for that. You guys know we like to put an X or a maybe at the end of each sentence because it organizes our thoughts, and when we go back, we don't lose our strain of thought. Okay, so after each answer choice, A, B, C, or D, which detail in the first part of the story explains why Madame Charity is cruel to Zell? So after each one, I'm going to write X or maybe to guide my thinking. Number 2 is a written response. Describe how Talulu helps Zell. Well, I'm sure I've already written and underlined information directly from the text. So what you have here is going to be exactly what the author said. Okay, don't just write one word answer. I want you to describe all the words that describe how Talulu helps Zell. All right, number 3 is a 2-part question. I made this arrow here because remember we talk about how part B supports part A. Part A and part B have to go together and make sense. The question is about the central message of the story. I gave you some reminders over here about the central message. What did the character learn? A central message is a moral or a theme that's within the story. A lot of times we can find that moral or theme by looking at the problem and the solution. The other thing we think about when we think about central message is how it goes beyond the story. How can we apply it to our lives now? So what can others learn from the characters? That's what the message is. If the whole story was an example of how to share, then that's the central message that we can learn from. All right. Next day, you're going to do an independent practice with the same story. So on Tuesday, I want you to reread the story. It's very important that we read a text multiple times because we might add extra notes here and there. We might underline things that we noticed this time that we didn't before. All right, this time we have a question about the meaning of a word. The meaning of the word market. Don't forget our word strategy. I want you to plug each answer choice in to the word in the sentence. So, if I was looking at number C, a street fair where people gather, I'm going to plug it into the sentence. Every Saturday, Madame Charity sold sugar and rice at a street fair where people gather. I don't know if sugar and rice would be at a street fair. So that's what I do for each one of these. She sold it at a bank where money is exchanged. I don't know if that's where she would sell sugar or rice. So that's what you do for that strategy, is just plug it in and replace it with the word in the sentence. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to plan a response. You're going to write about the central message. You're going to make a list of things from the story that tell about kindness of some of the characters. Everything that you list down here is going to be from details that you've already annotated in the story. So you already have your written response. You just have to use the text. Next, you're going to review the central message of Zelda the Gentle Donkey. Explain how the characters in the story help deliver this message. So what does Zelda do to help with the message? What does Madame Charity do to help with the message? Okay, that written response is going to be about. And you have some extended paper right here so that you can write a really good response. And the very last written response you're going to give is about a central message in general. I want you to think about how it's helpful to consider the central message in a story. Did it help you relate to Zell better if you thought about what she learned? Did it help you relate better to Madame Charity and understand what they went through when you thought about their lesson? All right, and on Wednesday, you're going to do some independent activities with central message apart from a story. So I made a list down here. You're going to do these examples here, and then you're going to, number one, think of another story besides the one about Zell. So it can be any folktale, any story that has a central message, or it could be a story that you've read recently. You're going to talk to your family about this story and about what the characters learned. There has to be a central message in this story. Then the next page has an organizer for you to write about it. Here it is. You're going to put 3 details, kind of like the beginning, the middle, and the end. You're going to kind of describe what happened. Maybe there was a problem and then a solution that led to the moral or the lesson that the characters went through. And then, what can the reader learn? What is the central message that the reader can understand from the story? So that's what you're going to do for your own story. It can be anything you want. Then you're going to create your own central message story. Example of Charlotte's Web. When you think about what Charlotte learned, you can break apart the story. So that's what I want you to do, is I want you to think about what you want the reader to know. So if you have a brother or sister who is having a hard time with sharing or lying, or there's a lesson that they need to learn about listening, it doesn't matter what it is, your parts of the story are going to lead to the central message. So you're going to create characters, you're going to create a problem and solution, a beginning, a middle, and end, and there is a chart provided for you to think about that too. All right, so the next day is Thursday, and what you're going to do is you're going to think about specific words for time and space. I have circled in blue the when word and in green the where words. So when words are first, second, next, often, at noon, in the morning, in the evening. I'm sure you can think of a lot of other ones too. On Saturday. And where words. Down, around, under, close to, far away, on the right, on the left. And these words are going to fill in the blank. So these sentences are all about plants and gardens. So if it has when at the end, you're going to plug in a when word. So blank, get a shovel and loosen the soil. What do you do? When do you get a shovel and loosen the soil? If it's number 1, that's your clue of what word you might use. And so on. Then you're going to do multiple choice questions with when and where. Don't forget your X and maybe strategies. And then on Friday, you're going to practice recounting stories. Recounting is the same thing as retelling. You tell it again. And you can do that with beginning, middle, and end. It tells the order of the story or the sequence. So you're going to read a text, and what do we do when we read a text? Underline important details and take notes under each paragraph or to the side of each paragraph. That way we can understand it better. And then here is our provided chart. Beginning, middle, and end. Just retell that story. I gave you a hint. Use your when and where words, first, next, last, to retell. Your where words are going to describe how the setting changes. Is it different from the end and the beginning? If there's a central message, maybe you're going to describe a problem here and a solution here. And that is your last activity of the week. So friends, that is a really good description of what you're going to be doing. And if you need any help, just go back through this video, rewind to Tuesday, and listen to my suggestions. Good luck, guys. I can't wait to see your work.